It all started once the Anderson family moved across the street. We live in Norton, a small secluded villagey town. It had a total population of 2,000, so it's pretty good to say that mostly everyone knew each other, at least until the Andersons moved in. It was a Thursday night. The clock read 12:30. No one should be awake at this time, but suddenly we heard a loud bang right across the street. It woke me up and my parents. We saw that the house across the street, which was recently vacated, had moving trucks in front of it. We didn't really think much about the moving, but at the middle of the night, that didn't seem quite right. It was the next day that we found out there were the Andersons who moved across the street from our house. The next day, at 9 p.m., I heard knocking at the door. A weird time for someone to show up at our house, I thought. My mother opened the door, and it was them, the Andersons, all three of them. There was Mike, the father, Mary, the wife, and Jessie, the child. Jessie was what I thought to be 10-year-old, and she was as white as a sheet of paper. I didn't think she was alive at first glance. The father said, "Hello, I'm Mike, and we are the Andersons. We moved right across the street there. I hope we can be friends and have good relationship." He spoke in a very mesmerizing tone, as if I was getting hypnotized just by hearing his voice. My mother said, "Oh, so it was you guys last night. We heard the commotion." "I'm really sorry," Mary said. "We didn't really know when would we reach, so we just set the moving company to come at midnight so that no one would get disturbed," she said. "I understand," my mother said. "Be sure to ask me for any help if you need." "Thank you," Mark said. And then they just left, all in synchronous steps, as if they were in some sort of a parade. My mother surely thought something was wrong, but she was stressed as it is, so she didn't really give it much thought. As the days went by, even weeks went by, I started noticing that the people all around, started to change. For example, our mailman, he was a charming old man who was always happy and smiling and told jokes to all the kids. He made us laugh. But yesterday, when he came to drop the mail, it was as if he didn't really see anyone. He just came, dropped the mail, and left. Another weird thing was, the mailman, Mr. Norris, used to come bright and early in the morning, 6 o'clock. But now he was coming at midnight. Slowly, I saw that the hustling and bustling streets of our town were all gone. Everyone were in their home during the daytime. There were very few people on the streets during the day. But as soon as it hit dark, the streets were alive again. It's as if everyone was waiting for it to get dark. I had my suspicions. There was something wrong with the Andersons. They never left their house. I have never once seen them leave. I saw the husband, Mark, leave once or twice for his office work, I suppose. But no one else left. Mary didn't leave. Her child didn't leave. I didn't even see Jessie playing on the garden I thought she had been homeschooled, so she might not go to school, but not even once have I seen any of them come out. I thought it would be beneficial to maybe stake the place out. So I waited one day for it to get dark, and I saw that all three of them had left the house. They were going somewhere, all dressed up. I sneaked and watched from my balcony window as I saw them entering the car and drive away. I packed my bags with flashlight, tape, and a stick for my self-defense. I sneakily went out of my balcony window into the front porch and crossed the street into their house. The previous owners of the house were good friends of our family, so I used to visit that house quite a lot. So I knew that the kitchen window had a loose bolt, so you could just get in. I went to the back of the house and I saw that the window was boarded up. In fact, all the windows were boarded up. That was creepy. Why would they have to board up every single window in the house? I quickly went to the vent which led to the basement. Fortunately, they forgot to board that up. I quickly went downstairs through the vent into the basement of the house. And as soon as I went into the basement, it was pitch black. And I don't mean dark, I mean pitch black, as if I cannot even see my own arm. I remembered where the light switch was and hit it. Suddenly, light flashed up, and I saw that there was no furniture in the entire basement. There was just a blue box. The blue box stood out like a sore thumb. I thought I shouldn't open it, and I was making my way to the stairs to go upstairs. Just then, I saw the blue box move, or I thought I saw it move. I went back to the blue box, and I put my ear on top of the box. I could hear growling. I was scared, and I quickly went upstairs into the living room. The living room was oddly furnished. There were no sofa, there were no TVs. There were just 4 beds, or rather 4 mattresses, neatly aligned in 3s, which I assumed they slept on. There was no furniture other than that at all. That was super weird, I thought. That was until I saw another box. This one the size of a chest. This one wasn't moving, but this one was locked. That was weird, I thought. I heard growling downstairs, growing. I was starting to get nervous now, but I had to know what was inside the box upstairs. I quickly found a crowbar nearby, which was as dusty as it could be. I picked up the crowbar and broke the lock off and opened the box. The box was filled with ice. It was some sort of a freezer, I thought. And on top of the ice were ready-to-eat meals. Something like patties or burgers or frozen pizzas. I thought, why would someone keep these in a freezer box like this and not in a regular fridge? I digged in a little bit deeper and I touched something unusual. I was nervous and I flew back. It was something fleshy. I thought I had made a mistake. That couldn't be it. I digged in again and what I found froze me to the toes. It was a human hand. I was stunned. I couldn't even breathe. I was so scared. Suddenly, the growling noise from behind started to rise again. I knew something was coming for me now. I had seen something I wasn't supposed to see. Suddenly, I heard a car pull up. The Andersons were home? I thought. I was in big trouble if they catch me here. I saw from the front window, the only window which was not boarded up, that the car had pulled up, and it was the Andersons' car, but it had pulled up in front of my house. I quickly went out the door. I unlocked the door and I ran across the street. I came to my house. I went in front of the door and I knocked vigorously, as much as I could, so many times, until suddenly my mom opened the door. "What is it, Philip? Where were you?" "Mom, I was in the Andersons' house. You won't believe me. I think they are monsters." "Calm down, Philip. The Andersons were just here right now. They just left." "They left?" I asked. "Where were they? We need to call the police." "Calm down, Philip. Come inside first." I went in the house. I couldn't even speak now. I was huffing and puffing. My mother gave me a glass of water. "Here, have a drink and relax, and then we'll talk about what you think you saw." I quickly drank the glass of water as quickly as I could, and I said to my mother, "Mom, I found body parts in the house. I don't think they are quite what they seem. Mother, we have to call the police." "Is that so?" my mother said nonchalantly. Something was weird. What had happened? "Mom, I'm telling you, there was something bad going on in their house. There was even growling noises there." My mother put a hand on my shoulder, and I couldn't move anymore. Her hand was as cold as ice. She looked at me from above and said, "Don't worry, son. We can handle it. Everything's going to be all right."